Right, guys, so what we're going to talk about today is YouTube and your mental health. And everyone says, if you sort of want to start YouTube, everyone just says, yeah, start one. But they don't sort of tell you how it can affect your mental health. If you've got sort of mental health issues going on anyway, around you, in your, in your aura, in your personality, in your lifestyle. Especially if you've got an addictive personality, you're going through addiction, you're going through recovery, or you want to sort of talk like real talk and be honest and open about your life, especially if part of that life is something that not everyone's is agreeing with, So, like, drug addicts, are already some of the most vulnerable people in society, aren't they? We know that. And we all know that it's stigma and, people look down on us and they judge us and make assumptions. So why is it that there is so many, addiction channels? Why is there so many sort of addicts who want to sort of open up to the cyber world and open themselves up to trolls and open themselves up to nasty, horrible comments? And my guess is because they want to tell their story. They want to help that one person if that's all it takes, If that's all it helps, then one's enough. To stop somebody from going down that road is kind of enough. It's worth all those trolls. To me it is. You've got to be really, really strong to sort of not let them comments get to you. A few months ago, a few of you already have watched it, but I did a documentary about addiction with a journalist, and it didn't turn out how I wanted it to at all. Something went on, and it got put out unfinished, and due to, I suppose, human nature, people just want to have, do it their way or the highway, so to speak, and blah blah blah. It got put out unfinished, and it made addicts look in a bad light, which is what we originally set out not to do. Now it got a hell of a lot of views, and very quickly, YouTube tried to get it took down. They had to re-edit it. It's now got a age restriction on, so the views have kind of stopped now. But in the first week, it hits. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have wrote it down in my notes actually, but I can't find it. I'm shit on her. I told you my head's just not right. My mum's birthday has really knocked me to 6. It generated over 800 comments. Now, those comments was damn right evil. Don't get me wrong, among that sea of evilness in the dark sea, there was, people coming across with lovely comments, offering support, offering, guidance, words of wisdom, that sort of thing, offering the hand, so to, but there was sort of people who wasn't watching it for that. They were watching it for the wrong reasons, in my opinion. It only lasts about 15 minutes. It's only very short, because like I said, it wasn't finished. I got people threatening my life. I got people saying that I should not have dogs because I'm a drug addict. I don't look after my dogs. People was pulling me for the way I looked, the job I do. Absolutely endless sea of evilness, and if I wasn't as strong as I am, I can see why that would really get to somebody. Yeah, really, really do. I really do. The only thing that's kind of put in place with YouTube regarding comments is they do sort of filter them. So other people might think, oh, so-and-so, this channel's deleted my comment, blah, 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 but they don't. What YouTube do is they put them into like a box, so to speak, of held comments, potentially harmful comments, and it's very random. It's not. I actually don't know what they class as harmless, because the one in my bank at the minute says, "Do you know the biz?" That's, I mean, you know, and then they let comments through that are quite hurtful. So YouTube, you need to sort that one out anyway. Some things that people like sort of not aware of, where real life's concerned, you are sort of putting your whole life to be watched, like almost like Big Brother. I mean, people get really, like, how can I put it? They get sort of, they believe things are real that aren't real. People who do YouTube and, you know, do all different niches, and you know, my channel's niche is obviously addiction, and it's not so much of a character that I can take on, but because it's, you know, it's true life, it's genuineness. But there is, like, you know, especially on the dark side, people taking on perception of a certain character. There might not be anything like that in real life, but it's seriously, people get so obsessed by it, and it's like, whoa, you know, it's a character they're playing. It's for clicks and views. You know, that's probably how they earn their money. You know, especially with the dark side, I see it all the time, because I'm, you know, that's one of my addictions at the minute on YouTube, is watching that. As you know, I drop an odd one every now and again. But do you think YouTube should do more, a lot more for mental health? Should there be something in place? I mean, the second part of this is going to be about a channel creator who is literally, in my opinion, having a breakdown right there in front of you, right there in his videos, all just for clicks and views, which we're going to cover that in the you know, in the second part. But you know, there's got to be sort of boundaries with the audience. There's got to be, you know, if you've got nothing, I mean, Mama always used to say, if you've got nothing nice to say, Victoria, don't bloody say it. And there's ways of saying things, I guess, isn't there? I mean, I don't say things to be nasty to anybody. I just say, and I see how it is, and I have to say it. I you know, I expect bluntness back. You know, I'm not one of these who sort of gives it and can't takes it and deletes comments, and if I don't like what you're saying, that's it, you're barred from the channel. I know, you know, there's a few people that do that, and I'm definitely not one of those. It's freedom of speech, and luckily enough, it's filtered out over the time that I've been on YouTube, that I've got a nice little bunch of followers who, you know, kind of don't leave evil comments, basically, but they say it how it is, and I don't take any offence to that, and that's what we like, you know. I don't want to come on here and offer my opinion on something and you all agree. I do not want that. You know, I don't want that. And yeah, it's too many people are losing the, you know, the freedom to say what they want, and here is never going to lose that. Never, even with the relaunch, it's never going to lose that. So yeah, so tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you think YouTube do enough? Do you think YouTube could do more? If you do, what should they do? You know, what should they do about people's mental health? You know, should they sort of stop somebody from contributing and creating if they're sort of having a meltdown on, you know, online, if they're becoming obsessed with clicks and views and subscribers, and takes over the, you know, their mind, because it's like, you know, why aren't people watching my videos? Checking it every 2 minutes to see if you've got new subscribers. You know, there's all that obsession, and then you've got the trolling. You know, is it harming people? Is it making people have worse mental health issues than they did before they did YouTube? Let me know, guys. Remember, you don't know how strong you are till strength is your only option. And remember, keep them eyes out. Get that subscribe button pressed, because part 2 will be coming.